So we've released another event. Light versus Dark. Are you gonna play Dark Magician? Or Blue Eyes White Dragon? You forgot to ban something! No, we hit Labyrinth this time. Take a guess! No, not again. There's always something. Please stop ruining my events. No!
Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. Today we have a new event from Konami, Light versus Dark. Now, you know what's great about this event? They forgot to ban Benkei. They usually ban this because it's such a cheesy deck, but because Benkei is a Dark, I suppose they just left it alone. So, that's what we'll be doing today. It's a very budget friendly deck, so if you're looking to not spend many crafting points on this event, try this out. It's quick wins and quick losses, so you're going to blaze through this event like no one's business. Let's jump straight into the deck list. So here is the deck list. If you don't know the goal of the Benkei OTK, it is to summon either Mataza the Zapper or Benkei himself and attack a bunch of times with a bunch of equip spells. Mataza lets you attack twice in a battle phase, while Benkei, the main man, lets you get an additional attack for each equip it has. So this is what you want to see mainly, but Mataza can work as well. The main equip card you want to see are Noble Arms Clarent, because you can pay 500 life points and it can attack directly, so you can just ignore your opponent's monsters and just attack for game. Let's go through with the card by card. So of course we have 3 Mataza the Zapper and Benkei for reasons explained. We have a couple of going second staples just because you want to be going second and attacking as soon as you can. We have Raigeki and Harpy's Feather Duster. If you don't have these, you can replace them with just more equip spells, but I feel like most people have these since they are just generic staples. We have Monster Reborn in case our Benkei or Zapper get destroyed, and also because sometimes you can grab a monster out your opponent's grave and it can get that little extra bit of damage in. We have a reinforcement of the army to search your 2 monsters. We run 3 magical mallets since you really want to be searching mainly the monsters. The equip spells you get don't really matter too much. We have 3 pot desires. Once again, you just want to draw. You don't care about what you banish too much, as long as you don't banish all 6 of your monsters. More going second staples. Sometimes they just even concede as soon as they see this. We have 3 Acts of Despair, gives you 1000 attack. Mask of Brutality for the same reason. Mage Power is really good because you're going to be equipping a lot of equip spells, and it's usually going to go up to 2000 or 1500. Bashing Shield, again another 1000 attack booster. Psychic Blade is great. Unfortunately, you can only activate one of these per turn, but you can pay 2000 life points and get 2000 attack, so it's one of the best equipped cards you can get. The previously mentioned Noble Arms Clarent, which lets you attack directly. Again, you can only activate one of these per turn, but run 3 just because we really need to see this. Toolbox. Now this is entirely replaceable. I just had a couple of copies laying around. This lets you reveal 2 equipped spells to your opponent, and they get to choose one to add to your hand. So oftentimes you'll be revealing Clarent and Mage Power, or Mage Power and Psychic Blade, just for that extra search. You can just replace this with another equip spell, like 2 more Masks of Brutality. Twin Twisters is another great one, but you can replace this with more equip spells. It's just nice to make sure you're not running into a trap or a bounce that will, just destroy your Benkei. And Infinite Impermanence, just because it can really help in shutting down your opponent's plays, and in this event, hand traps are... there's not many. So having the Infinite Impermanence is really nice, and also it can boost your Mage Power, I guess. But it's mainly there just to shut down your opponent so they don't go too crazy and your Benkei can go off. The extra deck does not matter, I just put in all the shiny cards. In fact, you might even want to run 0 in the extra deck just because you do run into some Dogmatica players that will try and banish cards or send cards to the grave from your extra deck and get effects from it. So maybe it's worth running 0 of that as well. Doesn't matter too much. With that quick rundown, let's jump straight into the games and show off this lovely strategy. So we actually have 5 games here because the games are so fast I thought I'd show off exactly what it does, and you'll get the gist by kind of the second game. We want to be going second with this deck since we want to attack as soon as we can. Our opponent's going to start with a quick launch summoning Recharger and then normal summoning Time Thief Winder. We can use our impermanence here. We have a really good hand. You basically want to see one monster, some equip spells, and an impermanence is really nice as well. He's going to go into a Time Thief Redoer here, which is a little bit scary, and he sets one. We can work with this. So we draw into our toolbox. He's going to use the redo effect to bounce off the field, which is helpful. We're going to summon the Zapper, use the toolbox to reveal a Psychic Blade and Mage Power. Luckily he gives us Mage Power, but they're going to boost us the same anyway. Let's equip 2 Mage Powers, boosting our attack by a bunch. He's going to special summon a Rocket Monster using Quick Launch, but luckily we have the Clarent in hand, which is why we didn't reveal it off toolbox, using Clarent's effect to make it so he can attack directly, and attack directly twice for 5300. You can see that this game was really quick. It takes like a minute. And yeah, that's the best part about this deck. It's super quick wins. Okay, going into game 2. Once again, we're going second, which is perfect for this deck. We've drawn Benkei himself. And the toolbox is nice, but the mage powers are even nicer. Our opponent's going to start with an Allure of Darkness, banishing an Ukobak. He's going to go for another Allure of Darkness, which is incredibly scary, banishing a... I'm not going to try and say that. He's going to summon the Ukobak, sending the Superbia to graveyard, using Dark Lord Contact to bring the Superbia back. He's then going to link into Condemned Dark Lord. He's then going to activate his effect to discard 1 and add a Dark Lord to hand. He's going to have the Ishel, and then use the Ishel to discard 1 and draw 2, using the banishment to add the Amdusk, and then revealing the Amdusk to discard it and target 1 card in the graveyard, which should be the Contact, and add it back to hand. He's going to end phase on the Dark Lord and gain 500 life points. Luckily, we don't care too much about that. We've got the Benkei. We're going to normal summon the Benkei and give it the Brutality. It can now attack twice. We'll activate the Toolbox. We're going to reveal the Psychic Blade and the Clarent. Fortunately for us, he gives us the Clarent, so we can ignore the Dark Lord. Equip the Mage Power, equip the Clarent, activate the Clarent, and he realises what he's done. Now, it's worth noting that even if he did the Psychic Blade, this guy was dead to rights, so it doesn't really matter too much, but it was nice to avoid reading his cards. So, going into Game 3, going second once again, can you sense a pattern? We don't really win going first. If you go first, you want to pass. So we've got a decent hand, we've got the impermanence to stop any shenanigans. He's going to activate Cyber Emergency, adding the Drytron Altius to hand, discarding the Meteonis Draconis, and adding the Ritual spell to hand, setting 1, and fortunately that wasn't a very good turn for him. We're going to activate the Desires. We drew into the Clarent already, which is very nice. We're going to activate the Lightning Storm just to try and clear out that back row, because that's very scary. Called By doesn't do anything to us. We'll activate the Toolbox, and yeah. This is what happens if you don't draw into your Rota or your monsters, basically. He's going to summon a Diviner of the Herald, and we're going to use the Impermanence to hopefully slow him down so he doesn't kill us this turn. And then he's going to link into Liner the Charmer, the Light Charmer. Just go to battle phase since I have no monsters in grave, and yeah, we'll take that damage, doesn't matter too much to us. Although he has given us some Monster Reborn material. We have drawn into the Zapper, which is extremely nice. We'll use the Toolbox now that we summoned the Zapper, and he's going to give us the Mage Power, using the Bashing Shield, equipping the Mage Power, and another Mage Power. We're actually not going to use the Clarent here, just because we don't need to. Yes, he can add a monster to hand, but let's just go straight for face. It's worth noting that I probably should have Clarented, but on the off chance that he did find something somehow that destroyed it, I wanted to be able to have some follow-up with the Monster Reborn and maybe draw into an equip. Going into our 4th game here, let's have a look at what we draw. We've drawn the Infinite Impermanence, which is quite nice. Hopefully that slows the opponent down. He's going to activate a pre-preparation of Rites, adding the Dogmaticabra and the White Knight of Dogma. Now this is the game I wish I had no cards in my extra deck. He's going to activate Nadir's Servant, and he's going to send the Herald of Arclight, and he gets to add a Dogmaticality. Now this is a scary state to be in. He's got a lot of cards in hand, and he's going to send even more Heralds and some of the White Relic of Dogmatica, and then activate the Herald once again to add Albazoa. Luckily the Albazoa doesn't do much to us, but he's going to activate a Dogmaticabra going into this Albazoa here. And now he's going to activate the Albazoa. We're just going to Imperm just so he doesn't get any extenders out of his extra deck, because so far this looks doable if we draw into a monster here. He sets one and passes back to us. We've drawn into Harpy's Feather Duster, so we might as well use that to get that back row out of the way, which is Dogmaticabra. We're going to use the Pot of Desires here. Let's see what we'll draw into. Just a couple more equip spells. Now this is a good example of why Mallet is great. Just shuffle back as many equip spells as you need. I keep the Psychic Blade since it's really powerful. We get the Benkei off the top and the Claren. We'll activate the Claren, let it attack directly, give it 2,000 with the Psychic Blade, 1,000 with the Bashing Shield, and now we can attack 4 times directly for 3,500. Lovely, lovely deck. Now for the last game, we'll actually be going first, which is scary. You can see our brilliant turn 1 play is ending the phase and letting them go off. Let's see what they've got. They've also got a Pot of Desires here. Maybe they're playing the same deck? Maybe not if they're setting 1. Maybe they've got an Imperm, we'll see. We're going to use the Lightning Storm, and it is a Numeron Cooling. So now we're free to just summon the Zapper, Psychic Blade, Mage Power, let's not overextend, and just kill him. Easy, easy wins. So that's it for the Light vs Dark deck list. Let me know in the comments, which side did you pick? Did you use the Benkei OTK, or did you play something more disrespected like Runic? I'm interested either way. I like seeing the score. At the moment, I think it's about 55% to Dark. So I think a lot of people are going with Dark decks at the moment. I suppose Tier is mainly Dark, so yeah. If you made it this far in the video, please do feel free to hit subscribe. New Yu-Gi-Oh videos each week. And as always, happy dueling.